All right, we're off and running. It's a victory Monday for the Lions as they dispatch of the cute little Minnesota Vikings with that cute little start that they had.
It's a fun story. It's a fun little story.
It was a fun little story.
Wasn't it fun?
It's funny, too. All those, like the Vikings blogs that I guess I was public enemy #1 in Minneapolis for being right, apparently. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, Sam Darnold's their bridge quarterback.
Oh,
I got that tweet from somebody. Congratulations to the Lions. They beat our bridge quarterback.
Really?
So there's that.
Well, it's a bridge to nowhere, so that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Josh Dobbs is going to come back. The Pastronaut's going to save you again.
Right.
God,
right.
Why won't people learn from history, Neil?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
And we can go history in multiple directions on why the Vikings were set up for failure. We can go Sam Darnold's history. We can go immediate Vikings history, even to last year. Or we could go back to the year they were 5-0. Like, there's so many things in history I can point to as why the Vikings weren't going to make it in the end anyways. So why not just put them down before you start the Oregon Trail? We don't need that dead weight.
No doubt. Woodward Sports chat thread, Mike G. Who had a better Sunday, Jared Goff or Dusty May? I'll do the Michigan thing. Hey, we're still the champs. We're still the champs. No, hey, Michigan fans, you won't, but you need to get excited about that basketball team. Dusty May has flipped that script. They have elite bigs surrounded by elite shooters.
Elite.
They play an NBA style of game. They are going to be very, very good.
Yeah.
Spenny, I'm telling you, Spenny. I'm telling you, man.
I ain't worried. 8 week, fuck them bums.
Michigan State week this week as well. We'll get into it. We'll get into it later on, but it is a victory Monday. El Gato, Sam Darnold had 3 years in the pocket to throw the ball. Now,
true.
I was down at Little Caesars Arena, so I caught bits and pieces of it going back and forth to the media. What I saw, the moments that I saw, I thought Pascal was very good. James Houston got some pressure on a couple of third downs.
The linebackers showed out in this one.
And Rodrigo. That's why I wore the Rodrigo. Shout out questionable
Jack
G's, by the way.
Jack Campbell, too. Jack Campbell, he deserves some credit. Trevor Nowatzki deserves some credit as well.
Yeah.
The pressure wasn't there, though. I mean, we can all call a spade a spade. They won the game. They did it without the pressure. They had 4 sacks in the game, but I think all 4 of those pretty much came in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
They got pressure.
When the game was on the line?
When the game, which is good, which is fine, but they weren't getting there consistently all game long, and it's okay to say the pressure wasn't there.
Yeah, they just didn't get home.
Fine.
Like it was pressure. It was manufactured pressure.
No,
but they
it
just
was
weren't getting home.
It was containment. It was just a solid game.
Justin Jefferson had 84 yards.
Right. So
I wouldn't say he had all day to pass. I think that's a misnomer.
There were so many times when it was oh my God, Darnold. He had all day to pass.
He had a lot of time back.
But it's okay. That's when the coverage kicks in. And that's when this is a team sport. One part of the team falls off a little, the other picks up the dead weight. That's why Brian Branch was there picking off interceptions. That interception before the end of the first half, to me, was the biggest play of the game.
It flipped the game.
It was over.
Changed it. They could have gone into halftime with the lead.
Yeah.
But we go up 21-10.
And here's the deal, Stick. The Vikings did bad team shit.
Yeah.
They did. They had no timeouts left at the end of the half.
Bad team.
Which allowed the Lions, after the intercept, to completely run out the clock and score before halftime.
Yep.
Right? To put the game back on serve. Because of Vikings' advantage. And this is something that the Lions do that nobody in this town talks about. They are masterful at the end of the second quarter. Masterful all the time. Either scoring, getting the ball to start the second half, or scoring to keep the game on serve. And the Vikings did bad team stuff. Taking 2 timeouts in the first quarter. Yeah. That's bad team shit.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Interception before the end of the first half.
100%. Which, by the way, the get right hit, by the way. We gave it on the pregame show. It was a get right. Sam Darnold to throw an interception.
But also think about when the Lions had to give the ball back to them with 4 minutes to go, but Jack Fox buries a punt within their territory. They go 3 and out.
Yep.
That's what bad teams. We've seen it here in Detroit. We know that script, right? Oh, we got a chance to win. All we have to do is just run the ball for 2 more minutes. Oh, we can't do it. Sam Darnold comes out and throws probably one of his worst passes of the game. So that's the thing. Sam Darnold's nice until he's not. until the pressure hits him, until it's a big moment. And that's what you saw yesterday. He failed before the end of the first half. He failed at the end of the second half. And that's what Sam Darnold has been in the NFL. That's why the 49ers didn't want him. That's why the Panthers didn't want him. That's why the Jets didn't want him. And then you're going to tell me he's just going to resurrect as this great quarterback? He's never been a great quarterback. And people are like, well, Jared Goff was bounced around. Jared Goff took a team to the Super Bowl. Like, he was great at one point. He was good. He did lead a victorious offense. Sam Darnold's never done that in the history of his career. So for everybody to tell me how good Sam Darnold is all of a sudden, that's why I could just do nothing but laugh these first 5 games of the season. And yesterday, I had a lot on the line, too. My co-host in the postgame show, Ann, said, oh, man, we got to watch out for the Vikings. Vikings are legit. They're not legit. They're a solid team, but they're not good or great.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Charles Hinter. Bates Motel, Jake Bates is a psycho. Gave the Vikings the dagger in the shower. Happy Halloween season, everyone. I doubt that text is pretty good.
Neil, we got our kicker, man. And I know you wasn't doubting, recently, but I'm just saying, he's here to stay.
No question. And guess what? The results dictate as such.
There you go.
He did it.
10 for 10 on the career.
And that's it. Game on the line. Road division game on the line.
And we haven't even seen him hit a 50 or 60 yarder yet. He still got that in the bag too.
No doubt. So again, yeah, you can't. Somebody brought that up earlier. Like, you need to apologize to Brad Holmes. I never came on here and said, "What are we doing here?" I never said that.
No, you didn't.
I said a game is going to come down to the end, and he's got to deliver.
And he did.
And he did.
Shout out to Just a Fan for gifting 10 subs in the Woodward Sports chat.
Shout out.
That's hype.
There you go. That is hype.
Can we talk about the utter confidence that Dan Campbell had in Jake Bates, though?
He's been calling on him a lot more than he did last year.
Not even calling on him. It's one thing to call on him when the situation is right. It's another thing to take 2 deliberate knees, lose yardage, and know that the game's already over.
They trust him.
They didn't even try to score a touchdown. They didn't even put the position to fumble a handoff, to do anything like that. It's like, hey, we got the game in the bag. It's already over. Go out there, take 2 knees, Jared Goff, and we're going to trot our kicker out, our rookie kicker, in the most pressure-filled position against an undefeated team. And he did it. And there was Easy was going nuts. Go back and watch the watch party.
He almost died.
He was shaking. Shaking. And listen, that's what I love about this, right? It's NFL Sundays, when the Lions are good, bring out a different energy than I have at any point in my week or any point in my life. I'm not a nervous guy. I'm not a guy that usually gets knocked off kilter, but when I'm watching the Lions, I'm pacing the room. Palms are sweating.
I didn't have that at all. Like, I sat in the media room at Little Caesars Arena watching the end of that game and knew. And not for a second, not for 1 second, because I watched that entire possession, did it ever enter my mind that Jared Goff wouldn't get him down the field and get him in the spot and they were going to win the game. Because they're a good team. Listen, and that's what good teams do in this league all the time.
Just because I'm sweating palms and stuff doesn't mean I'm doubting. It just means my adrenaline's rushing. That's what gets me fired up. And I like these close games. I like especially being confident and knowing you have a team that can overcome and being surprised when they don't instead of surprised when they do.
Yeah, there was no doubt. They are a good team that is built to last through all of it. And look, like, Montgomery went down that first quarter.
Yeah.
Everything that was going on with that 5 penalty flags thrown on him in the first 10 minutes.
3 drives without a first down.
Yeah.
Coyote, he messed up.
Didn't matter.
No.
21
it didn't matter.
Unanswered points.
Because here's the bottom line with this football team. It's what Dan Campbell says all the time. They are unbreakable. They may lose a couple games. They will lose a couple games. It's the NFL, man. It's how it works. You cannot break them. They are the David Goggins of NFL teams.
Who's going to carry the boats?
You can punish them, and they can struggle, and it doesn't matter because they're going to find a way.
Yep.
They're going to find a way. I was texting my buddies.
Michael Myers. That's what they are. They just slowly walk. You can never kill them, and they're going to get there. They're just walking.
Yep.
Just
walk them down.
You can't stop
them down.
After they did the fake punt, and it didn't work, I saw on the Caesar Sportsbook app, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports, by the way, Lions were plus 425 in the game at that one time. Jeez. Right at that one time, right at the moment that they did the fake punt. And I texted my buddies. I said, you got to go in on this right now. You're getting over 4-1. And then at the end of the game, when the Lions had the ball back, you could hedge with the Vikings. I think they were plus 2.25 or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Who was that called into the post-game show? I forget who it was, but yeah, there's two types of Lions fans, right? The ones who are like, oh my God, we're down 10, it's over. And then the others are like, oh my God, we're down 10, I'm going to cash in on this. And they went and bet.
It's been proven. and Stick, when I hosted the watch party,
yeah,
I did that all night long. We had it trapped and trapped and trapped and trapped.
Yep.
There's never a doubt.
Like, it's almost, if you're a betting man and you go to Caesars Sportsbook, you almost want the Lions to have a slow little start because you know how the movie ends. It's just they need a little turbulence to get going, and that's what yesterday was. And, I've argued this a few times. This game could have easily been a 20 to 25-point blowout for the Lions. There were several plays that went the Vikings' way that lucked them into even making this a close game. How many times does Monty fumble? Not often. That doesn't happen. It gets returned for 6. Then they called back the one we returned for 6. So there's so many things that happened throughout the course of this game that didn't go the Lions' way, that did go the Vikings' way, and they needed all of it to lose.
Woodward Sports Chat Thread, Harold Williams, hedging is for suckers. You don't do it for gambling, you do it for winning. Mm-hmm. It's about winning, not about gambling.